be no excuses because he's playing not only for the Browns, who might get the top pick in next year's draft and select a quarterback, he's playing for all these other teams too.
You want to go, Kate?
Yeah. Well, look, Flacco hasn't played a full season since 2017. So he's one of the.
I mean, it's 20. I know Bru's a little shaky on this. It is 2025.
It's a long time.
That's a long time
Right, so
ago.
since then, he started a total of 52 games for 5 teams over 7 years.
Yeah.
So you don't want to say there's a chance the guy might get injured, but if you're an older quarterback and you haven't played, even then he was playing 16. Now he has to play 17.
Oh, yeah. How about the
like
fact the Browns just haven't had the same guy start all 17 games in
That's good, too.
a decade?
19.
Yeah.
That being said, I kind of went through and I was like, can we just pull some notable third-string quarterbacks
Purdy.
to get a good run?
Purdy's the only one. And he was second string by week 3. Because remember, it was Trey, Jimmy, Purdy. Trey broke his leg in week 2.
So if it runs normal,
right.
like I don't know if you make another move. It's just like Tommy DeVito last year. He was third string. He threw for 260 yards. Carr, Spencer Rattler, Jake Hayner was third string. He threw for 250 yards. So I feel like we're building up this like, oh, and here comes Shador, where we are. You don't get a lot of runway.
Oh, I agree with that. Listen, but what those guys didn't have was a month for the start of the season. The owner say publicly they both have to play.
Yeah,
that's
and
true.
so
No,
like
that's what it is.
that is what it is.
That's the only reason he's probably on the team. Let's keep it. Even though he looked pretty good, they traded for Pickett in March.
They traded for Pickett in March, and then somehow got
a
5th back for him. Like I don't think there was a league-wide conspiracy against Kenny Pickett. There might be a league-wide conspiracy of whichever owner's the rudest has to trade for Kenny Pickett. Like I don't understand. He just keeps getting a 5th-round pick for him. But to me, what this means is, I actually find this to be a kind of bittersweet day for Shador. Because he really was just competing with Dylan Gabriel. Because they were never going to keep 2 vets. It was what we talked about before the year. Flacco and Pickett are competing to be the starter. We have now drafted the 2 young developmental guys. Whichever of those 2 guys doesn't become the starter, we're going to flip. You know what I mean? And so he just needed to beat out Dylan Gabriel, and he would have a real chance to be by week.
So do you think he won't get a shot?
I think now it goes similar to how you said, which is a weird shot. It's when the team is totally let go of the rope. They are on their 3rd quarterback. They are 2-11. You know what I mean? Something like that. But the door had opened. Gabriel's injury plus his struggles in practice plus Shador's week 1 preseason performance opened the door. He then gets hurt. Gabriel then in week 2 preseason, it again depends on eye of the beholder game. The stats are ugly. The Browns seem to be okay with it. They didn't blame him for the pick 6. Like, you know what I mean? Right. We didn't freak out about his fumbled exchange like Caleb's. It was different. You know what I mean? So, and then, but still, if in week 3 of the preseason, Gabriel had looked like Shador and Shador had looked like Gabriel, Shador Sanders would be the backup quarterback for a team right now that had just traded Kenny Pickett and has the 2nd oldest starting quarterback in the league. And so it was there for him. And this is, he wasn't able to take full advantage. Now it's not a death knell at all. Like you said, he'll get another opportunity. But that's what it signaled to me. Had they kept all 4, I would have gone into it thinking, all right, he never really had a chance to become the Browns' starting quarterback for a real part of the season. Now that I believe Dylan Gabriel will start more games with the Browns this year than any other quarterback. You know what I mean? Because because I think they'll move off Flacco. He'll get a long runway, and then at some point they go to Shador.
See, I think when they move off Flacco, Dylan will be first, but I feel like once they move off Flacco, they'll be like, okay, we're going to give both of them a shot. Unless Gabriel goes out there and is excellent from the get-go.
Weirdly, this is just on like my Joe Milton Patriots Week 18 win against the Bills. Bills are trying to lose. Joe Milton was the 3rd best quarterback, or 3rd-string quarterback. Bills are trying to lose. Patriots trying to win. Joe Milton will play 1 game. Like, this guy's pretty good.
Right.
And go to be the backup. I don't know if like 5 games is the best-case scenario. You might want 1 great game, week 18.
Yeah.
One great game. Like, Shador's got it. maybe look for a new spot.
Yeah, and then
5 games, some good,
what
some
backs
bad.
that up is Joe Milton's stock has plummeted since we've seen him in Dallas with more games.
That's the thing.
People,
yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean? The more you saw him, the more people were like, oh, that wasn't as good. Like, and I'm not.
I still believe in him.
I of course, yeah.
Once a Patriot, always a Patriot. Are we doing Stafford here?
Yeah,
of course. We got more flowers coming. Stafford's back from his bad back. His camp was hampered. But over our vacation, got healthy again. Sean McVay feeling very good. Take a listen.
He's doing great. He's a 100% participant. He's doing a heck of a job, taking care of himself with a lot of different things. As soon as we get off the grass, he and Reggie have a great plan. But, I can't see into the future, but I certainly, if you look at what the last week has entailed, feel really good. And there's nothing that would lead me to believe, unless we have an unforeseen setback, that he's not going to be ready to roll against the Texans.
Okay. Do you believe the Rams are contenders? Stafford's back.
They're absolutely top-flight NFC contenders. And I thought they were by the end of last year. I thought they were. And I thought they, again, what do you take into a playoff loss? I think more considering the team they lost to, 13 yards away from beating, then annihilated the Commanders and the Chiefs, and they had beat the Packers pretty soundly the week before. And I also am now a bigger believer of the theory that I posited that Stafford's back did hurt, and they had an agreement.
Wow.
That
okay.
Come back and preseason for you will be very truncated. And
we can't throw the ball around to Devontae?
The timing, then it's very, very serendipitous timing. He's healthy just in time to get the full regular work to be ready for week 1. And so with a healthy Matt Stafford, yes, they're definitely contenders. And I don't think at his age he's ever fully healthy. You know what I mean? He wasn't fully healthy last year, but I felt they were contenders by the end of last year, as evidenced by the many flowers that they sent me.
No, they are not contenders. Wow. All right, and this is why I don't agree with your theory that they're just giving him a rest. I would want to see him throwing with Devontae Adams to get that timing right. So I think he was legitimately hurt. McVay had expected him to be ready for the beginning of training camp, at least according to McVay himself, and then the second week, and then it just dragged out. He's 37 years old, and I emphasize old because he's an old 37. I think he will play. I think may miss some games, but I think his play will be hindered by his age and the injury. And here's why I bring it up. Even Matthew Stafford healthy, I see everybody putting him in the top 5 and this and that. He hasn't been that guy since the Super Bowl. Their record in the last 3 seasons is 22-18 with Matthew Stafford.
Do you buy big game quarterback though?
He's been good in some big games, but I don't buy this that he was cooking at the end of last year.
Oh, not at the end of the year.
Because going into his last 3 games, they clinched, so he sat out the last game. His last 3 games that they needed to win, which they did, they failed to score 20 points in any of the games. He failed to have a passer rating even as high as 84 in any of the games. He failed to throw for 200 yards in any of the games. He threw 1 touchdown, 1 pick. So I just think that you look at his numbers, look at his production. He has had big games, don't get me wrong. But overall, I don't think he's that same guy that led them to the Super Bowl a few years ago.
No,
so I don't have them as
I don't want to see. It's a little, this is going to sound crazy, a little LeBron-esque. Way older, past your prime, don't want to see you in the playoffs.
That's what I meant by big game. He was, though, after being bad the last month of the season, he was awesome those 2 playoff games.
Yeah, he came through in the playoffs.
And so,
I don't want to see him.
That's why, to me, they're real.
So you're saying they're not contenders?
I don't like older quarterbacks. Here's the older: Rodgers, Flacco, Dalton, Kirk Cousins, Stafford.
Yeah, but there's a big. Stafford just turned 37, right?
But he's old 37.
Okay, he's literally.
You would admit.
Oh no, he's an older quarterback. I'm saying I think Flacco and Rodgers are old. I think Stafford's at the tail end of quarterback middle age.
Yeah, that's 2 guys had bad Achilles.
Yeah.
1 guy had a bad back.
Yeah,
they had to bring in some futuristic chamber for him. Predictions week rolls on. Last year, Garrett Wilson won the coveted First Things First Catch of the Year belt. Barely edging out Xavier Worthy's Super Bowl touchdown that cut the Eagles' lead to 18 with under 2 minutes to go.
Such an ass.
That way he came in second.
We don't have a lot of time.
Yard bomb.
We're way late. Let Brew give his pick.
Catch of the year, bro.
I'm staying in New York. Malik Neighbors.
Oh, yeah.
With the moon balls, he's going to
Yeah.
get a lot of opportunities. Jackson Dart will take some chances. And like we said, there'll be some throws that are off target, so he'll have a chance to go up and do something spectacular.
I think this is already locked up. I think it's done. Travis, earlier today.
Puns.
Come on. Brew, that's the engagement photo. This is what you missed by not being on the internet today. Brew,
That's great. I'm very happy for
I know
you.
you don't like me giving you your takes. You yelled at me about the Brian Flores thing. If we do it again, you should be like,
Say, Taylor got the catch of the year. I get it, but she's not out. She doesn't play in the NFL.
Gotcha. Coming up next, we are discussing Trey Hendrickson, obviously, in his blue riding with Aaron Rodgers. Next on First Things First and Fox Sports Radio on Sirius XM.
That handwriting looks a lot like yours, KW. Have you been writing these?
How do we get that? It's not from the there's no postage on it.